When I never felt that, come on, yeah. Never felt that, come on, yeah. When I never felt that, come on, yeah. You gotta get up.
Fourth largest landmass. You can see the three major mountain ranges in the continental United States. The Great Plains are higher near the Rocky Mountains and slope down as you go east towards the Appalachian Mountains. The Hawaiian Islands were formed when magma erupted from a spot on the seafloor called a hot spot. There are 8 major islands and 124 smaller islands in the Hawaiian chain. You can find the definition for all of these terms on page 3 of your textbook.
Those big reservoirs, Lake Powell behind Glen Canyon Dam and Lake Mead above Hoover Dam, don't look quite so big anymore. Both are now half empty.
In less than a decade, water levels here at Lake Mead have dropped nearly 100 feet. Just 8 years ago, this fishing dock was part of a thriving marina with hundreds of boaters passing by every day. Now, it's the ultimate dry dock, with a lakeshore that's getting farther and farther away.
Just since 2000, Lake Mead has been on an incredible involuntary water diet and lost 3.8 trillion gallons.
We're taking more water out every year than Mother Nature's putting in, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going to happen if we continue to do that.
Tim Barnett is a marine geophysicist with the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, a water expert. He studied river records, factored in global warming, and came to a startling conclusion. By the year 2021, just 13 years from now, there's an even chance Lake Mead may become a virtual dry hole.
There won't be enough, and we'll have to have rationing and goodness knows what else.
And for a city like Las Vegas, which draws most of its water from Lake Mead,
They don't have any water.
Sitting here as the water manager in the driest city in the United States, I can't say it's not possible.
Pat Mulroy is the general manager of the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Her worst-case scenario is that Lake Mead gets so low, there's no flow for the Hoover Dam hydroelectric plant, and then things really turn bad.
And this community would lose 90% of its water supply. And you can't conserve your way out of that kind of a loss. There's no way an urban area can cut 90% of its water supply and survive.
And this is a case of something happening in Vegas that wouldn't stay in Vegas. The Colorado River that feeds the Lake Powell and Mead reservoirs is the lifeline to 7 western states, and life could change for 27 million people who depend on it.
Let's be frank about this. If that kind of a crisis hits Lake Mead, this isn't a Las Vegas problem. This is a Los Angeles problem. This is a Phoenix problem. This is a Tucson problem. This is a San Diego problem.
In San Diego County, rancher Charlie Woke is among the 5,000 growers who produce most of the nation's avocados.
you ever think you'd see the day when this became the symbol of drought?
No, the honest answer is no, I did not.
This year, Woke and the others are chainsawing 30% of their trees into hibernation to meet a 30% cutback in their water supplies. In exchange for low water rates, the growers agreed to a cutback in bad times, and the bad times are here.
People say, well, what are you going to do next year if the 30% cutback's not lifted? And I said, well, I'm going up there and cut the next section. I suppose eventually I'll get to the point where there won't be anything to cut.
Agriculture takes 80% of the Colorado River supply, and farmers are being pinched. Part of the problem is nature's doing, an 8-year-long drought and years of below normal runoff from the Sierra snowpack. Part of it's man-made, a court-ordered reduction in water pumped from the Sacramento Delta to save the endangered Delta smelt. So farmers are cutting back to keep urban users wet, and it's not easy.
Well, aren't you pushed over the edge when you drive through an urban area? and see somebody's sprinklers at work.
I mean, you just want to scream, or you want to stop and shut the valve off or do something, but why? It doesn't do any good.
Which brings us back to Las Vegas, a city that takes its water very seriously. Water police patrol neighborhoods for illegal sprinkling.
He's already got a little overspray in the driveway there.
Fines can top $1,000. 100 million square feet of water-thirsty lawns have been removed. And there's the recycling program.
This community is 100% recycled. We recycle every drop of wastewater that hits the sewer system.
Las Vegas has cut water use by 15 billion gallons a year, even as the city has grown by 400,000 residents, and it plans to tap underground water basins in northern Nevada to supplement the Colorado as well. Still, the good old days of unlimited water use are over.
Future generations are not going to be living the same way we've lived. They're not going to have the luxury of the abundance of supply per person that we enjoy.